Thank you so much for joining us. It's about time for us to take our parenting segment today on Wake Up Nigeria. Chidiebere Njoku is the founder of SEAL Project. It's aimed at raising socially and emotionally aware teens in Africa. For this morning, we're diving into disciplinary action for kids as parents and what are the do's and don'ts. I have to say a big thank you to you for coming once again to the studio. Good morning. All right, so now discipline is a very touchy subject for the average Nigerian parent. No parent wants to be told how to raise their child, what methods to use. But I know that there are some tried and tested methods that are considered more beneficial to the child than others. Yeah? So for some parents, the quick discipline, quick spanking is effective. Child stops doing whatever the parent doesn't want them to do. But then how does that affect the child? That's my question.
Okay, so every parent is looking out for the well-being of their children. They have expectations, you know, they have the dreams that they want. Most times, parents want the kids to become the people that they were not able to become. Okay. So I wasn't able to become a medical doctor, so I think this daughter would have to be a medical doctor. So you're ensuring, you know, with strict instructions that this girl follows on this path and becomes this. So when they are not doing that, there's every tendency for us to use all kinds of methods to bring that girl to the path that we've actually mapped for them. Okay. So, but sometimes we also want to, I think we should pay more attention to, you know, who the child is and what works for the child. Okay. You know, but ideally, in disciplining kids, I think we should create a model for the behavior that we expect, you know, from these kids. You know, so be who you want them to be, don't just tell them. Okay. You know, so you can be that way from the way you interact with your wife. Okay. Because that's the interaction that they see. You don't talk down at your gate man. You don't talk down at the security guard. You know, you don't lose your cool in front of your wife. You don't abuse or lay hands on her because the kids are watching. So if you're calm and you're this tender, you know, in pampering your wife, I mean, the kid will have to learn it somewhere else, you know, to touch women or to touch their fellow peers. Okay. You know, so there are a lot, you know, it's a long list. I was able to, I didn't want to miss out on the very key ones. So I jotted a few things down. And like, you don't use harsh words on children.
Some people think of harsh words in different ways. So harsh words for some people is calm down or stop talking or can you keep quiet there?
Oh yeah,
you know.
I was going to say something. So so it'll be nice to also note that you can tell a kid, could you please sit down? Yeah. Rather than say, don't stand up. Don't stand up.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a negative reinforcement. So, but when you say, could you please sit down? It's quite tender and it's more positive.
So we're talking about discipline here. There are some highly unruly children. There are some children that, in fact, if they enter the studio now, we probably won't have a show. They will jump up and down the walls.
You
can't control them.
I was that child.
Okay.
So everything boils down to your style of parenting. Like I said in the first segment when I first came here, that you need to understand what works for each child. Like every child has a script. Okay. You don't design a script for the child, for all the children. So it's one script for one child. So if this child is this way, then it's your job to find out, you know, what he reacts to, you know, the way he learns, how he's receptive, you know. So yeah, no matter how wild the child is, there are so many methods to go about it. Okay. Not just spanking. Spanking is like for me is the lazy parent's tool of parenting, because it is like a summary execution. So I'm not here to talk to you about it. I don't have the time to tell you about it.
So you're going to do judge, jury, and
exactly. So, but each time you hit it, that's violence already. You're telling the kid, and if once you hit a child, you're trying to make it a point, and you tell a child, I expect this from you, and I'm not getting it. Yeah. So I hit you. That child understands the language you just spoke to him is when you're not getting something and you want to get it, you can actually use violence
To get it.
So he goes out and he strikes other kids. I want my toys and you're not giving it to me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna dialogue. I hit you, so I get it. You know, so yeah, I was gonna run down on a couple of this if you don't mind. So children who are spanked, you know, have more level of hormones tied to toxic behavior, and this is very key because that's why I had to like put it down. So because, you know, we're raised in a society where the people who commit the most atrocities now are not living under the bridge. They're not living in wasted buildings and all.
Yes.
There are people who have collars and ties who are graduates from very good institutions. And then
They're
you ask
toxic
yourself
in their
why.
homes, yeah.
This is where it comes from, you know. So if parents can actually spend more time into how, I know this child, my expectations are that this child becomes this person, but what's the process
Of getting them there.
exactly, is very key. You
Okay.
know, so spanking for me is a no-no.
It's a no-no. It's not even the last straw.
Nah.
It's not even in there anywhere.
You don't spank any child.
So
for
let's
any
talk
reason.
about some positive reinforcement
Okay.
solutions. Now we
Okay.
we don't have much time for
Time
that.
to-
We'll probably
okay.
be able to talk about that next time you're here.
Aw.
But we know that we can answer parents' questions on social media. If you have a question, please look us up at TVC Connect with the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria, and we will try our best to answer your questions. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
T, for inviting me.
All right then.